Now we need to make some decisions, and to do that, we need to calculate the overhead costs associated with each flavor of ice cream. Let's illustrate this procedure by doing the calculations for gingerbread cheesecake supreme as shown here. You can see that a little arithmetic allows us to compute the overhead costs assigned to gingerbread cheesecake supreme. We can do a similar computation for each of the ice cream flavors as shown. These data reveal a key insight that can arise from an ABC analysis. The amount of overhead costs associated with production is not necessarily proportional to the level of some simple measure of activity such as direct labor hours or, in this case, the number of gallons of ice cream produced. For example, more gallons of vanilla, 500,000, are produced than any other flavor, and yet the amount of manufacturing overhead costs created by the production of vanilla is just $285,500. That's substantially less than the $374,300 in overhead associated with gingerbread cheesecake supreme. The high overhead cost of gingerbread cheesecake supreme is a function of the large number of ingredients, 25, and the extremely large number of batches, 235. Assigning overhead using a single cost basis, such as direct labor hours or gallons produced, as is done in most traditional accounting systems, ignores important differences in the overhead creating activities associated with the production of each different ice cream flavor. Now, let's compare the ABC overhead allocation results with a more traditional method of allocating overhead based on, in this case, the number of gallons. You can quickly see that you get a very different answer in terms of overhead allocation depending on whether you use the traditional method or ABC costing. In the case of peanut butter swirl, the difference is more than $1 a gallon. And there is almost $1 per gallon difference for strawberry banana surprise. It turns out vanilla was bearing more than its fair share of the overhead burden. As an example of the usefulness of ABC data, we learned that one factor that influences the amount of overhead created by the production of a particular ice cream flavor is the average size of a production batch. Similarly, the production of some flavors involves a large number of ingredients, which increases the complexity and overhead costs associated with these flavors. For example, the production of peanut butter swirl ice cream, no matter how many gallons and no matter how many batches, involves extra supervision, flavor chemists, and accounting overhead costs associated with the 30 different ingredients required in the production of peanut butter swirl. By identifying the activities that create overhead costs and then assigning those costs to production using measurable cost drivers, a management accountant using ABC data has a much better idea of the true economic cost of production and, as a result, can make much better decisions with managerial accounting data.